I remember back when I was 22 years old, I was just a young buck with perfectly non-gray hair. What do they call that? Brown hair. And I was casually dating this girl for maybe a couple months because, I was a young kid. I didn't know what I was doing. And I decided on this given night that I was going to go out. I was going to go out with the boys. She wasn't invited and she knew that. And she didn't like that, I could definitely tell. But I went out with the guy friends. I wasn't doing anything bad. I was just being a stupid 22-year-old kid. And I remember by the end of the night, I silenced my phone most of the time anyways, whenever I, live, but this was almost 20 years ago. She had called me legitimately over 20 times. Like just kept calling me. And at the time, I just put her in the total crazy camp, okay? I was like, you are just the type of woman I will avoid like the plague for the rest of my life. But in hindsight, looking back on it now, knowing everything I know as part of love strategies, she just had an anxious attachment style. And, this is not, and of course I wish if you're watching this video, and that was you, please just know that I'm here for you and I'd be happy to guide you in this area of your life. And you're certainly not crazy. A lot of our clients struggle with this particular attachment style. So in this video right now, I'm going to be talking about 3 strategies that you can use to avoid giving into those tendencies. If you have an anxious attachment style where you seem to, when you date, you are a little bit more on the needy side, these strategies are going to help you navigate your love life and set you up for ultimate success. But first, we have to talk about what exactly is an anxious attachment style. Well, an anxious attachment style is pretty much what it sounds. It is basically that you are anxious while you are dating. You tend to want to control things. You tend to be very uncomfortable when there's space in the relationship or when you're not together. And ultimately, you just tend to be a little bit more needy in relationships. I don't like that word, but there's not much of a better term that I think quickly clicks with people. And a lot of this, most of it, stems from our childhood, having parents who are inconsistently affectionate or there for you. And all of this is kind of echoed into our dating life later in life. Now, I'm not a licensed therapist, and if you do think you struggle with an anxious attachment style, I recommend that you do go see a therapist, because what a therapist will do is help you look back into your past to understand why it is that you do the things that you do. That is helpful, but that's only one part of the equation. Then what it is that I do is I think about the future. I'm a coach. I'm a strategizer. A lot of therapists don't do that. What we do is think about what strategies and tactics can we use to set you up for success. So if you do have an anxious attachment style, I recommend seeing a therapist along with these strategies. So I'm going to talk about this in context of what we call the little love steps, because that's how we teach everything that we do for single women at Love Strategies. So for starters, the first thing that you really want to make sure you're doing is, until you are in an exclusive committed relationship with a man, you need to continue talking to other people at the same time. People with anxious attachment styles, they tend to get the dreaded disease that we call oneitis. That is, when you like someone a lot, you focus all of your energy on that particular person and you get on these blinders. You're not able to see outside of just that one particular guy. That's okay if you're if you're in an exclusive relationship, but if you are still just talking to the guy and you're in the earliest stages of dating and getting to know each other, we call it the dating dance, then you really need to force yourself to go out and explore other options. That's why in Little Love Step number 3, that is what it's all about, is getting out there and continuously meeting multiple men at the same time. And our clients who have an anxious attachment style, we actually have them keep track of the number of new guys that they are meeting on a regular basis so that they don't fall into this trap of oneitis. So that is the first most important thing. If you're not exclusive with that guy, by definition, you are still single. And if you're still single, keep getting out there and meeting new people. Then we get to Little Love Step number 4, which is where we qualify your dating options. That is where you are the qualifier, you are the prize that he is begging to win over. And this is all about mindset. Going out with a particular guy, realizing that he is the one actually pursuing you. He is the chaser, you are the chooser. Let me repeat, he is the chaser, you are the chooser. And by having this mindset that says, I am the prize, and you know what? If he is not investing in me, then I'm not going to invest in him. That mindset sets you up for success in these situations. And it's something you need to be reminded of constantly, over and over and over again. That's why we have our community, our support. But maybe in your life, if you're not in Love Accelerator, maybe you have someone in your life to continuously remind you and hold you accountable to the fact that you deserve something great, you are the prize, and you are the qualifier throughout the dating process, okay? And a lot of women, I think, forget this stuff. They think that men have all the power when it comes to dating. Heck no. Women have the power so long as they have this qualifier mindset, okay? So that's little love step number 4. And then once we get to little love step number 5, that is when we start to pace the progression of our connections. It's at this point that we actually slow things down even further, okay? And even if a guy is trying to move things faster, he's trying to see you more often, he's trying to text you more often. Usually if you have an anxious attachment style, what's gonna happen? You give in and you go for it. And you start seeing this guy every single day or every single weekend. And before you know it, you're basically living at his house until one day he wakes up and he's like, whoa, you are moving way too fast. Have you ever had something like that happen? If that has, then what I want you to do is, instead of giving into a guy, even if he wants to see you a lot, see you all the time and spend all this time together, if you're not yet exclusive with him, I want you to pace things. I want you to be the one slowing things down. I want you to be in charge of your own love life because you are a high value woman. That is what we do when we work with women who struggle with an anxious attachment style. A lot of it is changing their strategy and their tactic when it comes to dating, but a lot of it is also just reinforcing these ideas of the little love steps so that when they are actually in that situation, when they really like a guy and they start to give into those anxious attachment style tendencies, we say, hey, hold on a second. Let's get real and remind ourselves of one thing. You're not yet exclusive with this guy. Let's play it cool. You are the high value woman. So hopefully that's helpful for you. Do you struggle with any of these things? Have you ever used any strategies or tactics that have helped you really avoid those anxious attachment style tendencies? Leave a comment right there below. And if you enjoy the videos just like this, give it a like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, because I'm trying to create more authentic content just like this that I think can help you through every single stage of attracting love and keeping love. Thank you so much for watching. I'll speak to you very soon. Bye-bye.